Time Warner Cable News is bringing you everything you've ever thought about the holidays and then some. From Christmas to Hanukkah, from tamale making to tree decorating, and holiday celebrations with all the trimmings, we've got it. So relax and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Central Texas holiday season. Texas Tidings, starting Christmas Eve at 6 p.m. on Time Warner Cable News. You're watching Time Warner Cable News. It's 9 o'clock.
I'm Ed Greenberger with your news in a minute. Austin leaders have some concerns about the city's well-known BMX park. The 2 acres of Duncan Park have been a bike track for more than 20 years. Now the Parks Department wants to make it safer. Parents are voicing concern over an active shooter drill at an AISD middle school. Emergency officials notified parents of the drill an hour prior, but not students or faculty. Parents say it left some kids shaken. No action taken by a committee that could recommend the impeachment of UT Regent Wallace Hall. Hall hasn't appeared before the group investigating charges that he abused his power. A report is expected to be filed before any recommendation is made. New cardiac monitors could help save lives. This new tech, now being used by Austin Travis County EMS, helps first responders by communicating with hospitals. And a unique work of art on Lady Bird Lake is gone. The thirst tree was meant to raise awareness of the water crisis, not just in Austin, but across Texas. The dead 38-foot cedar elm stood since October. Thanks for joining us on Time Warner Cable News this Wednesday evening. I'm Ed Greenberger. It is 9:01, and that means it is time for a check of your weather on the one. So we bring in meteorologist Mary Watson. And Mary, let's talk about China for a second. We've got some video from China, believe it or not.
Okay.
And this is what we're going to see here is a frozen waterfall. And I want to know how this happens. When does it freeze? I can't get my head around it. Does it start freezing at the top? Does it freeze at the bottom? Does it all freeze at exactly the same time, which I know doesn't happen?
Yeah, it has to build up from the bottom up.
I guess.
32 degrees.
I
but
don't
it seems
understand.
like that one little stream, isn't it?
Yeah, see, that's how they get you. I don't know what's going on there.
Interesting. That'd be cool if we had something like that here in Texas.
Yeah,
I've been to
good luck.
cool waterfall here in Texas at the Colorado Bend State Park, but it wasn't.
It's as close as you get, right?
That's about it. Well, you know what? We're way far away from freezing. 60 degrees right now at 9 p.m. here in Austin. 58 out the airport. And remember, earlier today, we did have fairly breezy winds, but now the winds have started to die down. Still out of the south-southeast up to 10, but we're not dealing with the gusts up to 20 and 25 anymore. Now tonight, we'll see an increase in cloud cover. We're also going to see the potential for some fog and drizzle in the morning. I'll go into more detail on that coming up at 11 past.
All right, thanks a lot, Mary. BMX bikers have raced the track at Duncan Park for more than 20 years. Duncan Park is situated in downtown Austin near 9th Street and Lamar Boulevard. If you know the area, you know it's near Shoal Creek, which can flood when there's heavy rain, and that has the city worried. Our Jeff Stensland joins us now from Duncan Park. Jeff, the BMX track has been there for 2 decades. Why the concern now?
Well, it really wasn't on their radar before concerns were brought before the city a couple years ago. About 2.5 years ago, a guy by the name of Dale Flatt brought the concerns up about this property because he was actually looking at some other properties in floodplains that were owned by private owners. Well, these mounds, like he says, create kind of, when you ever have a flood, these now take up space that the water could actually be taking up to dissipate that flood. And he says that the city needs to do something about it. One of the best known BMX tracks in the country came about with no plan and no city oversight.
For the most part, been constructed by BMX enthusiasts over a 20-year period of time.
But the mounds of dirt molded by enthusiasts concern Austinites like Dale Flatt. It sits along Shoal Creek and is in a 25-year floodplain. In other words, it's prone to flooding.
And Shoal Creek historically floods. Look at the Memorial Day flood. So the site is no longer appropriate for this location.
City leaders took a closer look at the BMX park in 2011. They say the park is not going away, but Marty Stump says the city needs to find a way to make up for the large amounts of dirt brought in to create the bike ramps.
We've calculated through the assistance of a civil engineer that approximately 420 cubic yards of soil reside in that section of the park today that were not part of the original floodplain condition there.
That's 52 dump trucks of dirt that have been brought in.
The city's current remedy: remove close to 52 dump trucks of dirt from the north side of Duncan Park. It would be part of a larger project to renovate the green space so more users can enjoy the prime downtown property.
We need to go through a stakeholder process and a community process because it's going to fundamentally shape and potentially lay the groundwork for additional improvements to Duncan Park.
That's not the outcome Flat wants to see, but city leaders say the broader community wants the ramps to remain and look for other ways to correct flood threats caused by the park. So essentially, the city will probably look at ways to make room for that water to go elsewhere, perhaps other parts of Duncan Park, in the event we have a 25 or 100-year flood. That stakeholder process, if you're wondering, starts up next month. In downtown Austin, Jeff Stensland, YNN.
A UT regent who faces possible impeachment will have to wait a little longer to learn his fate. Wallace Hall did not appear before the House committee that's investigating him. One of the co-chairs of the committee called Hall's silence a, quote, slap in the face. Hall has been accused of misusing his office in an attempt to oust UT Austin President Bill Powers. Hall declined to testify Wednesday because he was not subpoenaed. His lawyers wanted him to be subpoenaed because that could have given him some legal protections. President Powers testified Wednesday as planned. One of the allegations against Hall is that he abused open records laws by requesting hundreds of thousands of pages to investigate Powers. Powers told the committee Hall's actions have hurt morale at UT, and a lot of faculty feel under attack.
This has done significant harm to our reputation in the academic world nationally and internationally. It is on everyone's lips on every campus of public major research universities.
Again, the committee did not take any action today on Hall's impeachment. Instead, the co-chair says a report will be put together. Further testimony could be heard, and it is still possible the committee will subpoena Hall so they can hear his side. The head man at TxDOT has been picked to lead the Lower Colorado River Authority. Wednesday, LCRA's board voted unanimously to make Phil Wilson its next general manager. A former Texas Secretary of State, Wilson is the executive director of the Texas Department of Transportation. Back in October, Wilson and other executives were grilled by lawmakers after it came to light that 83 miles of rural roads in Texas's energy sector were in desperate need of repairs. Those roads are crumbling under the weight of booming oil field traffic. The senators said they should have been made aware of the damage during the legislative session. Wilson will replace LCRA's current GM, Becky Motal. Back in September, she announced she would retire at the end of the year. Austin Travis County EMS has new cardiac monitors. They say the new technology will save lives by enhancing the communication between first responders and hospitals. The old monitors were from 1999. These new ones enable doctors at hospitals to see the stats of a heart patient sooner.
When it comes to an active heart attack, 5 minutes means all the difference in the world. So our physicians, once a field paramedic transmits, have the ability to either go to a web portal and see the AKG, or this is really exciting, actually have it delivered to their smartphone.
If you experience the signs of a heart attack, emergency officials are reminding you not to wait to call for help. The average person who suffers a heart attack usually waits 3 or 4 hours before seeking medical attention. It became a part of Austin in just a few months, but now it's coming down. A thirst tree put up by women and their work on Lady Bird Lake in September was an artwork that symbolized the Texas drought. In just 2 months, the dead 38-foot-tall cedar tree gained a lot of attention thanks to the South by Southwest Eco Conference and news reports in the Huffington Post and New York Times. It even became a trending hashtag on Instagram. The work included a trail of 14,000 prayer flags suspended from trees on the trail around the lake. The backers of the project are happy with the message they were able to deliver.
There's been a lot of discussion about how the arts have not been as out front about the danger and of climate change as they were about the AIDS crisis. So there's been a lot of comment about that. So it was real, and also ways for people to do something.
Women and Their Work is hosting a panel discussion next month. You can find more information at womenandtheirwork.org.